Hello, my dears. Danielle here, and welcome to another episode of the Spa Marketing Made Easy podcast. This episode is brought to you by Addo Aesthetics, the #1 coaching company for spa industry professionals wanting to step into the role of spa CEO. And if you've been following me for a while, you know that my journey into the world of woo has been slow. I started just by dipping my toe in, thinking, what's it going to hurt, right? The most it's going to cost me is a couple minutes of my time to visualize or focus on manifestation or, pull a card from my Oracle deck or whatever it may be. I would safely say now that I'm way in the deep end, which is why my conversation with Danielle LaPorte was so beautiful and one that I believe every single woman needs to hear, not just those in the spa industry. So please share this with your mom, your sister, your cousin, your friends, your kids. It's that important. We are talking about her book, How to Be Loving, and it's truly how to be loving to yourself. Such a powerful lesson to learn. Now, if you don't know Danielle, let me do a quick read of her bio and we'll jump right into that episode. So Danielle LaPorte is a member of Oprah's SuperSoul 100 and a former think tank director who speaks about the intelligence of love. Her heart-centered facilitators program and membership evolved out of the Desire Map with over 400 workshop facilitators in 32 countries. Her podcast, With Love, Danielle, often ranks in the iTunes Wellness Top 10 with over 1 million downloads. DanielleLaPorte.com was named Top 100 Websites for Women by Forbes and has over 5 million visitors per month. She's an incredible woman, incredible message. This book is truly a work of art. I absolutely loved it. And I hope that you enjoy this interview as much as I did. Let's go ahead and play that episode. I am so excited, Danielle, to have Danielle and Daniela. So excited to have you here on the Spa Marketing Made Easy podcast to celebrate this incredible book. I mean, what a work of art. I'm so, such a beautiful piece of art to put out into the world and so timely for what's going on in our world. Is that what motivated you?
No.
No? Tell me,
I mean,
take me
eventually this, like the book that it is now wasn't what was intended at the beginning. I was going to write a book about more desire mapping. We were going to kind of take that into this, deeper direction. And then I got into that. I was like, it's not about desire anymore. It's about embodiment. It's about virtue. Mm-hmm. And I really wanted to get into, love not being a feeling and forgiving being our natural inclination. And just, the focus was on virtue. Yeah. And then it became this.
So when I first opened it up, the very first sentence, it says, spirituality is the practice of thinking with love. And that hit me so hard because I was like, all right, I read a lot of books. I read a lot of books for the podcast, for people we interview. So I'm kind of like, I'm skimming through doing the things. And I opened it up and read that first sentence and it hit me like a ton of bricks. And I actually read the whole book because it was just such a beautiful, I feel like there's themes of connection of who you are as an individual, especially for women in business. A lot of what we're dealing with our worthiness, our confidence, there's so many mindset things that really are the things that are holding us back that you have addressed in such a beautiful way in this book of truly how to be loving, how to see the story behind the story in another person, how to look with compassion, how to be, I love how you said for, and then like the heart is for giving and like separating the words. It was just really beautiful. So you said you started this around virtue. How did it change and transition, or did it just naturally happen that just the timing of this coming out with everything going on in the world, with the pandemic, with the kind of divisiveness that we're seeing, like, is that just kind of divine intervention that the book's timing came at this time, or?
Yes. And it got clear, like, wow, I really need to focus on the forgiving aspect of this. I need to talk about cancel culture and polarization and, the how to be loving the crescendo is really all about unity consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
So like the response, one of the key responses I've gotten to the book is like, I thought this was all going to be about how to love other people, about relationships. And it's really about how to love myself.
Yeah.
And you kind of go on this journey and realize like, if I'm loving myself, my tone changes to how I speak to myself, then all of my relationships shift. But I want to say something about the women in this space, in the spa industry space, the wellness industry, and everything you just brought up about, really just that inner struggle. I think there's an extra element of complexity for women in the wellness space, because if we feel that we're not being excellent in our own self-love and our self-care, if we're having these struggles, or if we're not, whether, like steaming our faces or doing our fitness or whatever, our actual wellness offering is, it creates this opening for this hypercriticism. Because we're in this industry of wellness. We're supposed to be impeccably well, and nobody is impeccably well. It's like, we're on course, we get off course. You just, so I just want to like acknowledge, like, that's what I see with a lot of people in this milieu, is there's kind of this shame that happens.
Yeah. And I think for spa, we tend to be nurturers in general, but nurturers to others, and almost our biggest critique for ourselves. And there was a point in the book actually, I wrote it here. It's on page 52. When you're talking about, there's no such thing as constant growth. And we are putting ourselves in this like constant, always getting better, always striving for the best. But there's actually these cycles of growth and stagnation and decay. And that's normal. And I think when you're operating a business, it's like year after year growth and hustle hard and all these things. And we are human beings. We're mothers, we're wives, we're sisters, and really allowing us to be all of those roles and saying, you know what? It's okay if my business plateaus this year. Like, this is a marathon, not a sprint. Like I don't need to, have this double-digit growth year after year. I'm still successful. I'm still, so.
Even the concept though with marathoning is interesting, right? Like, I get that. I get the merit of that, of looking at things that way. And I think it's useful, but I think there's an invitation to step back just one step further. It's like, does it even have to be a marathon? Like, does it have to be this thing that we're winning? It's just, I see so many of us, I think it's great to have an exit strategy, and great. You want to sell your spa in 5 years, 10 years, whatever. But it's still this like out in the future. It's just like, what if you can just have a great life this quarter, right? You're well, you're rested. You have intimate conversations with the people that you love. You're having men and women come into your facilities, and you're creating spaces for them to like rest. And that's good. Just look at the energetics of what you're doing.
But also coming from someone, you have built a very successful business. You touched on, like, for years, you were in this hustle hard, got to do better, got to do, like, so what was the thing that switched that for you, that when you gave yourself permission to just be? And
yes, it's the same thing I see happen with so many people, which is you have the meltdown. You have the dark night of the soul. And what I see is that when you go through that, you will do whatever it takes to not go through that again. You're just like, okay, I'm committed. I'm dedicated. I'm going to get my sleep. I'm going to have my meditation practice. All those things we know that are part of being whole. And then also you want to help other people. Like, there's people in my life right now. I'm just like, girlfriend, you need to dial it down, because it's coming. It's going to come for you. The anxiety starts to rise, and then life will get through to you somehow. there's a little blindsided something. It might just be like a fender bender or a little scandal or something. You don't have to go that route. You can just look at your trajectory now and say, if I keep going at this pace, if I keep going at this degree of striving, where is this going to take me? And maybe it's perfectly healthy and you're going to like, I'm in, you're going to run for 18 months and get it done. Go, vitality support systems. Women were amazing, right? But you have to be clear on why you're doing what you're doing, what's motivating you. And this is really, if you want to get into this, like this is the shadow work.
Mm-hmm.
Why the striving? And this is what's really tricky again in our space. Like I'm stoked to have this conversation because, where does the ego, I write about this and How to Be Loving, here's the question. Where does the ego like to hide? Where's its favorite place? In personal development workshops.
I read that and I was like, oh my God, that's, but it's that striving, like you were saying.
Yes.
And talk a little bit about how you said, and it's so funny. I am such a data person. I am so like data, numbers, goals, and you're like, don't do goals, vision. So talk to me about that piece, because I would love to learn more about it, because for me, you've got to know where you're going. You've got to be
Agreed.
Clear, right? And
Yes.
I don't know how to do that without goals.
I think goals are in service to the vision. And I think what happens in our culture is we just have goals instead of like this bigger, more meaningful purpose, right? So my relationship with goals has been, I would set goals and I would miss them. And then I would feel like a loser. I would set goals and I would hyperachieve. I would super surpass the goal. And I would think, oh, I should have dreamed bigger. I was really, what if I would have ratcheted up the goals? I could have like super duper exceeded. So there was still some like self-criticism in there. Mm-hmm. Goals from an unhealthy place. For me, vision. What am I here for? I'm here to alleviate suffering and amplify joy. I am here to heal myself and support other people to heal. Okay. So I have then I match that, what I know is my giftedness, my dharma, just my inclination, my natural abilities. I match that with that vision. Okay. How do I use my naturalness to heal? Great. For me, it looks like I'm going to write this book. I'm going to have this membership, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. Let's have goals that are always in service to healing the collective. So this has to benefit everybody. So I would say, yeah, we want to have a certain amount of heart-centered leaders in my leadership program. I want to move a certain amount of books. Then I have to like give it over to life and just stay rooted. So even in like my own visualization, manifestation practice, I'm always going back to my prayer is infinite blessings to infinite beings. I have my vision and I let it go. And this is like a real practice, right? So this is a manifestation tip. If anybody wants it, it's like, don't keep massaging that vision obsessively all day. It's like, you've got this dream, give it up to the sky and let the unseen forces take it for you. They know better than you. They've got more resources. When you keep fixating on the goal, it's like you keep pulling that dream back down from that higher energy source. And it's like, I'm going to obsess on this and I'm going to project all my worry and fears onto this. No, just let it go. And that is part of the action of like, we all know faith is required to manifest things. It's like, I dreamed it. I was in my heart. I really activated things with love, with inclusiveness. And then I hand it over to something way wiser than I.
So let's touch on manifestation coupled with inspired action, because for me, like when I saw The Secret years ago, I was like, this is crazy. What's going on here? You can't just put something on a cork board and a Ferrari is going to show up in your garage or whatever. But as I have, kind of dipped my toe more and more into the world of woo and really kind of learned these things, I think I'm fully in the pool now after several years. But my approach was, well, it's not going to hurt. So at least I can try.
Yes.
But I believe it's a combination of, anything that you have in your heart, you have the capability of creating in life. If you have a dream for it or vision for it, I believe that it's possible for you. But you still have to do something, right? You can't just put it out there and then not take any action and getting closer to that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yes,
faith without. Oh, absolutely. Faith without action is just irresponsibility. That's naive. But every action needs to be guided by the faith. So you're not
kind of releasing the attachment to.
You release the attachment and you're constantly asking for higher guidance. So it's like, I have this vision, soul, mentor, God, life force, whatever it is. You guide my phone calls today. You guide the strategic. You're asking spirit to be in the room when you set out your quarterly objectives. That's all a yes. And I think we actually need to do way less than we think we need to do. So we don't need to go full throttle. Keep your hands on the wheel, but it's not, I used to be obsessed with my to-do lists and my objectives. Can you hear the birds? There's lots of birds around right now. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not a new age soundtrack. That's actually the seagulls on my deck. What I do now is, first of all, I think that I see procrastination as intuition more often than not, because I know I'm not a procrastinator. I know I get things done, but I could look at it and go, wow, I still haven't done that thing. This is my heart saying, you just hold back. And the thing falls off the list, or they email me with an even better idea, or another door opens and I just, wow, I'm glad I didn't bust a move. So I'm always asking higher guidance. You guide me. I mean, one of my daily prayers when I, walk the ocean every day is just, spirit, guide my every thought, word, action, and deed. And from there, and I still have a to-do list, and we still have objectives. But I learned that life has a much better imagination than I do. And I don't need to hit a lot of the goals, the big goals and the small goals, to accomplish the bigger vision of alleviating suffering and amplifying joy. It's like, I don't have to be on that talk show. I went on that talk show and that one, and look what happened. I had dinner with that person, and they were the magic that opened in the 500 new leaders. And so
it sounds like you are operating your business and living your life from a very feminine energy.
Yes.
And for me, I have, in the past, I would say 6 to 8 months, been doing a lot of work around the feminine and balancing. I've lived my life very masculine, even though I love, hair and makeup. I'm talking about like internal energies. Yes. And, you mentioned embodiment, and with female, and when you were talking about the ego, like a lot of times I feel like when we feel something in our body, whether it's a sickness that causes, that's also your intuition telling you this is the right path, or this is the wrong path, or this is like guiding you on whatever goal or desire or action you should be taking in your business or in 100%. Your life,
The feminine is about receptivity, and we've had it all wrong. Like the way we've been doing it, it's brought us some places, but now it's toxic. It's turned into, we all have had the discussion around the toxic patriarchy and all of that. But what I see, and I see this a lot, especially when I talk to female entrepreneurs, I talk to them about basking.
Tell me.
And everybody right now, imagine you're laying on a beach. You're totally relaxed. It's safe. It's warm. What do you have to do? Nothing. You bask, you're slightly actively doing one thing, which you are basking in the nourishment of all that sun, that light, that prana, life force, vitamin D. That is your most powerful position. There is nothing else you need to be doing in that moment. You just receive the nourishment that's there for you at all times. You receive the most powerful vitamin that there is. And that's how we can walk through and do our businesses. You just have to, the power move is to stop and be still with it.
You had a great story in the book. You were talking with your coach, getting down to this feeling, and you said, I just want to be happy. And it was almost like you felt guilty about not doing the protest or not doing, all these different things. And I thought, you know what? How beautiful to give yourself permission to, that's what you want to do. And that's okay. And I see a lot of spa owners, they get work optional. They get to the point where they can step away from their business. It runs without them. And they don't know what to do next. There's this guilt of like, do I start a foundation? Do I open another location? And it's like, or you could go to the beach and you could do, like what makes you happy. So tell me a little bit more about that. Like, how do you feel now? Are you at peace with just allowing yourself to just be, getting in touch with just being happy, because I imagine that takes work to go in and out.
Well, I went through a phase of letting it all go. And I just thought, do I need to stay on this vocational path? Am I going to hold on to the same goals and dreams? And the answer was no. And then all those goals and dreams, I gave it all up in my mind for a while. Like, I'm just going to kind of see what happens if I don't have any aspirations. And the aspirations came back, but it was like this reset for me. The willingness to let go of all the ambition, it changed how I do what I do. Like I don't feel detached, that's for sure. I feel unattached. I feel much more directed by source. It's like, I'm all for mastermind groups. I'm all for mentors and coaches. Have those people to reflect back to you. But I just really want to have a conversation with my soul every morning. I want to make my own mistakes. I just feels much more efficient. And then I went through things of, I thinned out my team by 50%. I let go of my house. I moved to be by the beach. I live in an apartment. I had a fast car. I let go of that. I barely, the inner simplicity got manifested in outer simplicity. And I still want to do everything I want to do, but I'm coming at it from a place of, I'm not proving anymore. I'm not the striving. So I sleep better at night. I make time. Like my relationship with my man is just as important as everything else. I used to feel like I had to earn my way to like burn my karma. I had to earn my way back into enlightenment or whatever it is. I'm just like, no, I don't have to do that.
Did you ever struggle with feeling that your business was your identity?
Absolutely.
And it was part of this kind of simplifying your life? Was there a breakdown where you realized that you have the same value, whether your business is uber successful or non-existent?
Yes. I ask myself often, how would I feel if I just disappeared? Would I be lost? Would I feel unmoored? Right now, this could change. I'm figuring things out. I know that I am beloved, that I don't think God really cares if I pull it off in this lifetime. It's just like, I'm here. I'm part of the universal order. I'm a loving person. I have value. It doesn't even, I'm not even interested in the conversation anymore around worth. I think it's a ridiculous conversation to have, because if your child came to you and said, Mama, am I worthy of your love? And said it to you, in a kid-like way, like, do you love me? You would say, of course. You don't have to do anything to be loved. You don't have to do anything to be loved by me for the rest of your life. I loved you before you were here. It's like, it's infinite. It's impeccable. It's perfect. There's no performance required in a mother's love and a pure mother's love. We all get off track, and not everybody should be a mother. But I know that's another podcast. But that is how life loves us. That's the fabric of the universe. And I want to rest in that. And I think love is the only place that we can rest. It's the only place. So you create conditions of healing for yourself. You create a loving atmosphere for your own psyche, your own thoughts and words, and you can rest. And then you decide from there. Like, I am never, this may sound paradoxical. I'm good if I disappear tomorrow. I will deal with, any suffering. I feel valuable. I'm happy to be on the planet. And I'm not retiring ever. I will be speaking about love until my last breath, as I am so guided. And my business is part of my identity, but I am clear, I am not my identity. This is what How to Be Loving is all about. Are you going to identify as your heart, as your soulness, as the energy of life that you really are? We know this on a deep level. We know we're not our bodies. We know we're not even our marriages. Or are you going to identify as what your father told you that you are? Are you going to identify it? Are you going to be are you just a spa owner? No. You are so much more. You are full. You are love. You are compassion. You are humor. You are the feminine. You are creativity.
You have
whatever.
This beautiful, I don't know if it's a quote or a little poem. It's on page 45. It says, "See your anger and choose to act on your forgiveness. Listen to what your fear is whispering in the background, and then choose to be brave. Feel your shame and claim your eternal innocence. Being fully human is a spiritual transformation." And I started and highlighted it because I think that I know you said, "Oh, I'm not interested in having the worth conversation." But there's so many women that don't even realize that that's the conversation. That's what the actual struggle is.
Yes.
And so, I feel like, in a sense, there is a duty, if you believe that, to help other women see and help other souls in being loving and being compassionate and seeing what they're truly struggling with, is to show them that, you are worthy, you are loved, you are, you belong, right?
Duty is an interesting word. I'm with you on that. I think there is, but duty from what place? See, it's always, where are you coming from? So I feel that as a being of love, as a human on the planet right now, being breathed by something greater, something's keeping me here. I feel it is my duty to help other people realize that they're the beloved, that they're worthy no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that duty, that honor boundness is coming from I feel connected. I feel connected to you and everybody listening, right? As opposed to, and this is part of the wellness, personal development space. It's my duty to do this because I have a brand, because I want to burn my karma, because this is what yoga people do. It's my duty to do this because this is what good people do. Now, that is ego. And that's fine. I love your ego. Bring your in. I got a whole thing about, we have been mistreating the ego for decades, but centuries. But where's your duty coming from? Feeling connected or feeling separate?
So if it's part of your purpose, it's connected. If you feel it's your guidance from divine when you're asking for, show me what I need to do to be of service, guide me in that direction, and then you feel a duty to help others, then
I think it's one notch deeper.
Okay.
I think I would ask you, where's your purpose coming from? Is your purpose coming from your sense of connectedness, your real identity, or is it coming from, because lots of us have a sense of purpose and it's really a sense of punishment, right? Like, this is my purpose to do this, and I'm going to drive myself into the ground no matter what, because this is my purpose. Why? For who? Like, even, the Dalai Lama teaches that, like, your purpose is to be happy. You actually, I think it's very deep social conditioning that we have to save the world. It doesn't make sense to me anymore. Like, listen, dude, I'm here. I've said a couple of times, I want to heal the world, but I forgot, it doesn't make sense to try and heal the world if you haven't healed yourself.
Yeah. I think as mothers and as women, that tends to be a pretty constant and consistent battle of, you can't help others if your cup's not full. You're giving, you're doing all of this.
Yes.
But if your cup is not full, you're not going to be the best version of yourself. You're not going to be able to be of service in the way that you potentially could, if we would just simply care for ourselves and let go of this feeling of selfishness by putting the energy on ourselves, or loving ourselves how we would love our child or how we would love a friend. Right. But
yes,
it's hard.
It's very hard. This is the reason it's hard. I mean, that's, the ego is keeping you small. The ego doesn't want you to have a nourished and relaxed nervous system. The ego mind, your unhealed self, your shadow self, there's a handful of words. Pick the one you resonate with most. It wants you jacked. It wants you performing, because the more you're performing, the more you're striving, the more disconnected you get from your inner guidance, from each other, the less relaxed you get, the more in control your ego mind is. The ego mind, it loves metrics. It loves attention. It loves identity. And I'm not saying don't have a persona or personality or go make your 6, 7, 8 figures. Do go. Just, are you doing it because you're like, I'm a divine being and I am going to use this life to, like, just be love in every direction. And that is going to require some courage, not just because you're going to meet some resistance along the way. We all know that, but because you're going to have the courage to listen to your soul's guidance every day. And one day your soul might say, go for it. You just nail those quarterly objectives. Go. Double your staff. And another day your soul might say, you need the week off. You need to you need to go for some acupuncture. You need to fire half your team. If everybody just nourished their nervous system, we would not be in the world polarization that we are. We would not be as overly, I'm not anti-medication, but we would not be as overly, excessively, addictively medicated as we are. Mm-hmm. There would be no anxiety attacks. This is basic. Nourish, robust nervous system. There's no anxiety. There's no panic. There is stability. There's abiding. There's clear thinking. It's great conversations.
And I think to put kind of a business spin on it is, when you're in touch with yourself, when you're full, when you can look at others and see them with love, you're a better leader. And
exactly. Took the words out of my mouth.
So
you will be more prosperous.
Yeah, you'll be more prosperous. You'll be able to truly communicate, because I think that's a breakdown too, is people don't understand what they're feeling or why they're feeling that. And so they're unable to actually communicate whatever is triggering them. You had mentioned something else in the book too, where the stronger the emotion, the closer to the wound. That if you were having some sort of response to someone else, or some sort of response to something that was coming up, the stronger the emotion, the closer to whatever that your own trauma that you have to, whether it was, I don't remember if you said it was your ego or what, but that was really interesting to me because actually our friend Emily was saying, I had asked her, how do you figure out what you want? And she said, look at what triggers you. And so if you're seeing things that are triggering you, it could be an insight that that's actually something that you desire. And maybe you're just not aware of it. So really getting in touch with every single feeling it goes back to that embodiment thing, right? Of listening to your body, listening to how you feel.
You could break it down into staff. It's like, let's say you have a repeated theme in your staff of betrayal or lack of excellence. Let's say you just like, why are my team always late? They're not showing up. Everything's a reflection. This is one of the best lessons as a leader. It's one of the last ones I see people learning. Where are you not showing up for yourself? Because how you are treating you is how your people are going to treat your business. So if you are burned out and fried and kind of chaotic and anxious, you're going to see that showing up with the people that come in. If you are centered and loving and have standards for yourself, you are going to get people who are centered, loving, and have excellent standards. You're going to have, your space is going to become, you can feel it when you walk into any physical space. I can go, I'm like a spa bunny. It's my thing.
We love you.
I'm for you. And I can walk into any spa and just sense how it's being managed. I'm like, these girls are on edge.
And that, as spa owners, that's the last thing that we want, because we're trying to create a space of relaxation and healing and self-care. But yeah, I mean, I've worked in those spas before too, where you are burnt out, you're exhausted, you're walking on eggshells.
And then the real practical translation, since we're in this industry, talking about this industry, is like, then people aren't properly trained. They're not giving proper advice. And just like, I've had a bunch of consultants just like, this girl is so fried. She doesn't know the sequencing of products here. And this will go back to, I'm just like, she's probably got some baller boss who's directing everybody from their cell phone on her, in the car, on the way in, working 7 days a week. And you get centered, you get all nourished, systemed up, and you'll be more generous and you will be more magnetic. Solutions will come more easily. There'll be, the cash out system, the shipping, everything starts to flow because you're the hub of energy that's radiating and therefore magnetizing stuff into you. And I find relaxed people are more generous. And I think generosity is the secret sauce to any successful business. That's why I keep going to certain spas. Give me the extra, give me the bump, give me the serum, give me the extra 5 minutes. I just give me the extra of like, remember what we talked about last time I had a facial. That only happens when people are relaxed and well-loved.
So tell me, who should be reading this book? I'm going to hold it up so you guys can see the cover. Who should be reading? And you're going to have a card deck too, right?
Yes, we got a deck coming out and we have a journal coming out. And who should be reading the book? Well, I think everybody should be reading this book. I think a cold-hearted, just doesn't believe in any woo executive could read this and go, like there's an interesting chapter about how virtue turns into vice and how dangerous that is. There's a lot about unity consciousness really being like the intelligence of the heart is the innovative edge that a lot of industry knows that we need right now. Like I just heard yesterday that Mercedes-Benz has committed $1 billion between now and I think 2030 in HR resources for resiliency training.
Wow.
Like this is like human potential capital now. So there's that end of the spectrum. And then I think anybody who wants to grow, wants to sleep through the night, wants to leave the world better than they found it, and wants to shift that obsessive, hypercritical conversation that's going, that looping, and really move into what I call loving thoughts, higher quality thinking, then we have How to Be Loving. Yeah.
Now, this journal that you have, is this like a prompting journal that tells you, kind of teaches you how to apply these principles or how to kind of explore yourself more?
Yeah. Everything I've always done for years is always inquiry based. So it's like, here's a thought. Here's a little micro philosophy. What do you think about this? Everything's open to interpretation. It's pretty deep. It's spacious. I can't do small talk. So the journal has to be, if you're not weeping when you do the journal, I don't think I've hit the mark.
Now, where can people get this? Is it best to go to your website to pre-order? Are you, like, where are you directing people? Because I know,
this is what's happening. I am doing an event. When is this conversation going to air? Do you know yet?
When do you want it to air? In October.
Oh,
that's when. Okay. I know it's in October.
Yes. Okay. On Sunday, October 16th, I'm doing a virtual event called Church with Dee and Friends. Leanne Rhymes is going to sing and open up for us. This beautiful band, beautiful chorus is coming in. Michael Beckwith's going to be there. And I'm going to throw down on like your true identity. The entry to church is 2 books. So you can go buy 2 books now from anywhere. And then you come to DanielleLaPorte.com/howtobeloving and just let us know that you got the books. And then here you go, come into church. And then I'm sending out, we're calling them loving reminders every Sunday for a year, just a little micro audio inspiration, just like keep you centered in your heart. Mm-hmm. And then other treats. And of course, we're encouraging people to, like, if you can buy from an independent bookstore, do that, but Amazon works too. Yeah.
Okay, great. So we'll make this go out in the beginning of October so people can still have time to join and all of that. I love that. Anything else you want to add to make this episode feel complete for you?
You are not the wound. You're not the pain. You're not the stuff that happened to you. We've all heard this a lot in the personal development space, but you're actually the healer. And what if everybody in this space of wellness really, what if you go into your spa, whatever your wellness facility is, but you just hold in your heart really gently, not from this big, grandiose place of just like, you're a healer. You're a healer, which means you can heal yourself. Whatever you're struggling with right now, you totally have the capacity, not even just to get through it. Oh, beyond. You're going to get through it. You're going to be more radiant, stronger, vivacious, energized than you think is possible right now. And you are going to inspire and support other people to do the same. We are all here to heal and to be the healer for others.
That's so beautiful. Well, I want to encourage every one of you to grab the book. If you're watching this video, this is what it looks like. Very beautiful. Get the journal, all the things. And Danielle, thank you so much. This was so lovely to connect with you. And thank you for this beautiful piece of art.
Likewise, Danielle the Daniela. We got this.